In just one day, two of the world's biggest economies, Japan and the United Kingdom, have fallen into recession. Today, Japan is no longer the third largest economy in the world, and the UK, which is still the sixth largest national economy in the world, has seen a downfall. As the United Kingdom goes to polls this year and Japan goes to polls the next year, this is not a good sign, not just for leaders, but also for the world at large. But what does recession even mean? And how is it defined, you ask? Well, to begin with, there is no legal definition for recession. In general, recession is considered when an economy starts to decline in value. But what does that really mean on papers? Recession happens when a country produces and earns less than what it did before. So the total value of goods and services produced in an economy is reflected in the GDP. Technically, an economy would be in recession if its GDP shrinks for 2 consecutive quarters. In the United Kingdom's case, GDP contracted by 0.3% in the October to December quarter and by 0.1% between July to September. Similarly, for Japan, the economy contracted by 0.4% in the last quarter and by 2.9% in the one before that. But why does this really happen? How does the economy just shrink? Well, a decline in the GDP happens when consumers start to spend less money. Less spending means lesser demand, which in turn leads to a dip in production. And such events also lead to layoffs, job losses, and also mark a spike in the unemployment levels. In the United Kingdom, the unemployment rate was 3.9% in the 3 months to November. The annual inflation rate for housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels was 2.5% in January 2024, up from 1.9% seen in December of 2023. Now, inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Britain's economy has been stagnating since the pandemic. The UK has been battling an even worse cost of living crisis than other developed countries. To bring inflation under control, the Bank of England raised its interest rates. When interest rates become high, it cools down the economy, but restricts spending. When people spend less, economies fall into a recession. In the case of Japan, the economy has lost competitiveness and productivity. A weaker Japanese yen was also a factor as GDP numbers are calculated in dollar terms. Japan is also suffering due to an aging and shrinking population. With two of the biggest economies falling into recession, can the global economy fall into a recession? Now, while a global recession is not a possibility this year, we would be seeing a drop in the global economy growth eventually. The World Bank has already predicted that the world economy will just expand 2.4% this year, down from 2.6% growth in 2023 and 3% in 2022, and a galloping 6.2% in the year 2021.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.